Yo! Welcome to another movie review. Today's movie is one that everyone has been talking about, but I have luckily steered clear of whenever it comes to hearing too much of spoilers or anything like that, and not hearing any spoilers actually helped me a lot with this viewing and really, had some pretty good twists. This review is going to have spoilers all the way through it, so if you want to just skip all the way to the end, I might throw a timestamp just to show where my ending review thing is, but if there's not, sorry, I might do a non-spoiler, really quick one later, but this is going to be a spoiler video because I just saw it in theaters and I want to talk about it. Today's movie is Longlegs. I hadn't heard anything about this. The only, actual spoiler I got was that it's about a serial killer. It's kind of like, Silence of the Lambs. Everyone said it gave them that type of vibe, and Nicolas Cage was the main serial killer. That's all I came into this knowing. As far as the good, I'll start with the good, then talk about the bad, and then we'll end with my final thoughts. The good of this movie, Nicolas Cage, absolutely amazing. The main character is really cool. She has some type of psychic ability. It never goes into that too deep, which really makes it a little bit half-baked with that idea. Her partner, I can't remember his name. It's not really her partner, but the one that runs the entire, bureau or whatever is really cool. Like I said already, Nicolas Cage, absolutely amazing in this movie. I'll go ahead and talk more about that. He gives a really creepy performance. I was thinking that the twist was going to be something different. For some reason, with his hair being hair metal type of hair, not really, but kind of like that, and him singing all the time, I thought it was going to be oh, he's a retired singer or something, and it was set in the 70s too, so I was like, oh, that would be pretty cool. But then a different twist happened, and I'll talk about that later. But the main thing of this movie is she is going after a killer named Longlegs, obviously. The killer goes after children that are have the birthday on the 14th of whatever month it is, and it basically, the whole thing is that it's a inverted triangle, I guess, whatever that means. It's something satanic, I guess. But yeah, it's basically just that. All through the movie, they give you hints as to what the twist is going to be, but all the way through, I was like, I really hope they don't do that. And then they did, and I'll go ahead and tell you what the twist is. All through the movie, they find clues. They found a doll of one of the girls, and as soon as they found it, the girl snapped out of... She was the only victim that survived. She snapped out of her weird coma-like state and started talking and everything, but the whole thing is that he's a doll maker that creates dolls, somehow houses the souls of the human that it's based off of in the little sphere thing, and then puts it into the doll's head, which puts them in a trance-like state, and I guess at the very end it shows how it happens, and I guess they have to do it. They all know exactly what's going to happen and everything, and they just do it. They have to, and that part was kind of creepy because the one that ran the bureau just walked in there. His wife was there, and she said, "We'll be right back," and he goes, "No, I'll be right back. You'll still be in the kitchen," and that was... Man, it's creepy. This movie gets a lot rougher than I thought it would be. It has a few scenes that were that's dark, even for a horror movie. But this was actually a pretty good movie. This movie, I'll put this in the mixed category because it doesn't really make it better or worse. This movie has some scenes that remind me of just analog horror. I don't really know if that's a sign of it actually was like analog horror, or I've recently gotten back into analog horror, so it might just be me thinking that it seems like that just because of that. And hope, if you've seen this movie, comment please and tell me if you got the little hint of analog horror type of stuff in this movie, because there are a lot of scenes where it just flashes pictures and stuff and it's supposed to tell you stuff, and that reminded me a lot of analog horror. This does seem like an analog horror that could be made online, actually, just a Longlegs killer. This actually has a twist like an analog horror would have, if you ask me. But yeah, the whole housing the soul in the doll and then it slowly corrupts the family. I don't know. I'll talk about it later. But this is all of the goods, basically. All of the acting is amazing. The actual story from the very beginning to about the last 10 or 15 minutes is absolutely superb. But once we get to the last 10 minutes, once Nicolas Cage gets taken in and starts to tell exactly what's happening and everything, it gets a little bit weird. This has the same problem as Cobweb with me. I think it has a really good build up, and then once it's all explained, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of iffy. I'm pretty sure I made a review over Cobweb if you want to go and watch that. That's another one that I was overhyped completely. At least this one I didn't hear a whole lot of people say it was really good or anything, because I was purposely avoiding people talking about it. But that's all the goods that I have for it. But let's talk about some of the mixed, I guess, which is the ending. The ending is definitely a mixed for me. I think the explanation is cool, but I also liked it better whenever it was just Nicolas Cage being the killer and, who is the accomplice and everything. The accomplice ends up being the mom, which I guess makes sense. It does make sense for the story, but I don't know. I just wanted it to have more. And then, even the twist I kind of like. It was kind of cool, but the very ending, I will go ahead and say, is in a bad. This is a movie that just ends. She has to kill the main leader of the Bureau and then tries to shoot the head of and kill her mom, and tries to shoot the head of the doll, and that the Bureau, the person who runs the Bureau, their daughter got the doll, and she tries to shoot the head of it, and she ran out of bullets. And even in the theater, I was like, well, I mean, there's other ways to destroy that doll. And then she just says, let's go, and that's how it ends. I don't know. There was a few parts where we all laughed, like everyone in the theater. All the jokes that they made in the movie got some pretty good laughs. I'll go ahead and say those are good. This is a good, definitely. There's a scene where they're talking and Lee Carter, I think is her name, is just like, the main girl is just like, well, do your security guards take ID of the visitors? And the person who runs the asylum just goes, oh, well, that's a pretty good idea. Maybe we should start doing that. And everyone in the theater started laughing. It was actually pretty fun. There were a lot of times where I started laughing just because someone else laughed, because it was funny that they thought something was funny. I don't know. It's just one of those movies where the humor hits whenever they want it to, and even sometimes if they don't want it to. It ends with Nicolas Cage saying "Hell Satan" and then kissing at the camera, and I busted out laughing whenever that happened. That was like right after, like as soon as the credits almost started, right before the credits started, and I just busted out laughing. It was the funniest thing in that entire movie, and I don't know. It was a fun movie. It was a really good movie in the very beginning, all the way up to the last 10 or 15 minutes, can't remember exactly. Chapter 3, I'd say, is whenever it starts being just a fun movie. Because at a certain point, it just stops being a serious crime drama where this FBI agent is trying to figure out who this is and everything, and trying to figure out how it comes all full circle to her, because all through the movie there's a really good mystery about why he knows her, and then whenever it's shown, it's like, oh, okay, that works. And then it becomes, the supernatural horror movie. This is a good movie. Nicolas Cage is amazing in it. I will always stand by my Nicolas Cage, except in Wicker Man. Even then, he's a good actor. But yeah, he's a good actor. He's really good in this. It gives me some really good Ethan Hawke Black Phone vibes, honestly, is what I was thinking he took most of his inspiration from. Maybe. I don't know the man, obviously. But, yeah, he did really good with this. Him singing all the way through, I can't remember if I said this in the review already or not, but it made me think that he was going to end up being revealed to be just a failed singer or something. I was thinking of Mandy while watching this, honestly, and I was thinking of Jeremiah, and I was like, oh, that would be cool if it was like, he's just like a Jeremiah type of person, but no. The design for the man downstairs. The man downstairs is a cool name, by the way. It's like the one below all in Marvel, which, I don't know, I just thought I'd mention that that's a cool name. The design for him, whenever he's shown in the shadows with the big ram horns and the goat-looking features, looks pretty cool. Pretty standard Baphomet type of imagery. Pretty cool, though. I don't know. This is a good movie. The ending kind of ruined it for me whenever I first watched it, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, I don't know, it's just a pretty good ending, and it's a pretty fun movie. The entire movie all the way through, I was watching it with my fiance in theaters, and she was jumping nonstop. The very first jump scare, whenever the dude gets shot in the head, whenever he knocks on the door, I saw it coming from a mile away. I was honestly thinking he would get shot while he was walking up through the window. There's a window to the house that's right there, and I was thinking, oh, he might get shot through there, but no, it was at the door, and she jumped almost out of her seat. It was a fun movie, honestly. It was some good jump scares. A lot of, man, I'm gonna stand by my statement that this reminds me of an analog horror film, because there are a lot of scenes where it's just, the images pop up, and there's a few scenes where she's listening to phone calls while she does stuff, and it just reminds me of an analog horror. I don't know. This seems like it would make a really good analog horror. But yeah, this is a pretty good movie. I could see this getting a sequel, honestly, just because it didn't really have sequel bait, but it could get a sequel, I think. I think if they would have done it where Longlegs was just a normal killer with a normal accomplice, like maybe the mother is the accomplice because she didn't want Longlegs to kill her and not because she didn't want the devil himself to kill her. Maybe give it something other than black magic being the main culprit of how he's doing this. Maybe I'd probably give it an extra, it'd probably be a 10 out of 10 then, honestly. But as it is with this ending and everything, it's still an 8 out of 10 for me, honestly. Yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. More of a 8.5 out of 10, actually. 9 out of 10 if you really enjoy the ending. If you really enjoy the ending, this is probably going to be a 10 out of 10 for you, but for me it's an 8.5 out of 10, just because the ending wasn't the best for me, I don't think, but this was still a really good movie. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. But yeah, I know this was a really long explanation, but I just now saw this movie and I just wanted to talk about it, to be honest. Comment and tell me whether you agree with me or not, because this is a movie that I could see people absolutely hating because of the ending or absolutely loving because of it. And I honestly just want to hear all of you guys' thoughts, as always. But yeah, like, subscribe. Tomorrow I'm going to do a Saw 3 review. I've been trying to do all of them. Sorry, I've been slacking on those. But yeah, I'll get that video out tomorrow, and I will try to go ahead and have another video as well. But yeah, I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe, comment, and see ya.